Imagine a game where an angry prince storms the pitch to disallow a goal, or a team deliberately scores 149 own goals in protest. Picture players so confused they defend both nets at once, or a referee who gives 36 red cards in a single match. Buckle up, these unbelievable football tales are as real as they are ridiculous. In the 1982 World Cup, France led Kuwait 3-1 when Alain Giresse struck a fourth goal, but the Kuwaitis suddenly stopped playing. They'd heard a whistle from the crowd and thought the play was dead. Enter Sheikh Fahad Al-Ahmed Al-Sabah, Kuwait's FA president and literal prince, storming down from the stands in flowing robes. In an unbelievable display, the prince walked onto the pitch and demanded the goal be chalked off. He even ordered his team to walk off until the referee caved to the royal pressure. Incredibly, the ref did disallow the goal, reverting the score to 3-1. France were baffled. You can imagine the French players going, "Est-ce réel? Is this real?" Order, sort of, restored. France bagged another legitimate goal later and won 4-1. The aftermath? The prince was fined and the ref got banned. Kuwait's surreal World Cup moment ended with that one winless group stage, but it left us a wild story. A royal, literally altering a World Cup match on the spot. Now let's move to a 1994 Caribbean Cup qualifier between Barbados and Grenada, a match so chaotic it's called the dumbest game ever played. Barbados needed a 2-goal win to advance in the tournament. They were up 2-0 until Grenada scored late, making it 2-1. Time running out, Barbados did something unthinkable. They deliberately scored an own goal to tie 2-2. Why on earth? Because of a wacky tournament rule, in extra time, the first golden goal would count as 2 goals. By forcing extra time, Barbados could get that double-counting goal to achieve the 2-goal margin they needed. This decision flipped the game on its head. For the last minutes of regulation, Grenada realized what was happening and attempted to score in either net. Seriously, Grenada tried to score any goal, anywhere, an own goal or a regular goal, because any 1-goal win or loss would eliminate Barbados. Meanwhile, Barbados frantically defended both goals to keep the score 2-2. It was total chaos. Players sprinting end-to-end, not sure which way to attack. Barbados managed to hold on, and in extra time, they scored the golden goal, worth 2, to win 4-2 and advance. Grenada's coach was livid, calling whoever made that rule a candidate for a madhouse and saying his players did not even know which direction to attack. Can you blame them? A match where you're unsure which goal to score on. It really happened, and FIFA later scrapped that ridiculous double-goal rule. If you thought one own goal was crazy, how about 149 of them in one game? In 2002, Madagascar's top teams, AS Adema and Stade Olympique Le Mans, faced off in a playoff match that became the highest-scoring game ever. Adema won 149-0, but none of those 149 goals were against a goalkeeper. They were intentional own goals. Here's the scoop. Le Mans, the losing side, was protesting a refereeing decision from their previous game that knocked them out of title contention. As a furious protest, the coach told his players to score deliberately on themselves again and again for the entire match. Right from kickoff, the Le Mans players would dribble down to their own net and smash the ball in. Goal after goal, the scoreboard kept ticking up for Adema, while Adema's players and the crowd watched in shock. The opposing team basically refused to play, except to score against themselves repeatedly. Talk about a farce. Some fans even asked for refunds, understandably. By the final whistle, It was 149-0, a Guinness World Record scoreline. The Malagasy Federation was not amused. They hit the protesting team with suspensions for the coach and several players. But the referee was blameless in this one. He just had to stand and watch the madness. This match truly sounds like a typo or a fever dream, but it absolutely happened. A team scored 149 own goals in protest, forever etching 149-0 in the record books. But while some teams protest with goals, others prefer fists. In 2011, an Argentine 5th Division clash between Claypole and Victoriano Arenas produced a record 36 red cards in one match. Yes, 36. Basically every player, plus subs and some coaches. It started with a heated rivalry and 2 players sent off in the first half. By the second half, tensions exploded. Hard tackles flew in, scuffles broke out, and then a full-on mass brawl erupted. How crazy was it? Even the managers and coaches charged onto the pitch swinging, and some fans jumped into the fray too. It was absolute bedlam, like a Wild West saloon fight, but on a football field. The referee, Damian Rubino, completely lost any hope of control. After order was finally restored, Rubino basically said, "To heck with it," and red-carded everyone in sight. In his match report, he listed every single player from both teams as sent off, plus 14 others, subs and coaches, a grand total of 36 red cards. Essentially, no one was left uncarded. One manager claimed, "They wanted to kill me," in the brawl's aftermath, while the other said the ref overreacted and got confused. You think? It's probably the only time a referee could have asked anyone not sent off. No? Okay. This infamous match set a Guinness World Record for red cards, and it's a story that shows how a football game can descend into total anarchy, with a ref handing out reds like it's Oprah, giving away cars. Next up, a lower league gem from England that sounds like a Monty Python sketch. In 1993, Congleton Town, a small club, planned a minute's silence to honor a beloved 85-year-old fan named Fred Cope, who had reportedly passed away. Just before their match against Rossendale, the club's secretary had gotten word that old Fred died, and they even printed a tribute in the program. Somber mood. The players gathered in the center circle, crowd standing silent, and suddenly, in walks Fred Cope himself, alive and well. The dead man walked into the stadium, probably wondering why everyone looked like they'd seen a ghost, which effectively they had. Shocked officials quickly pivoted. The announcer hastily dedicated the silence to someone else, the recently deceased Bobby Moore, while poor Fred stood there likely thinking, "I'm not dead yet." An embarrassed club official had to apologize for the mix-up. Fred, far from upset, got the last laugh. He later discovered the match program had literally printed his obituary. Imagine reading your own obit at a football game. To top it off, that day, Fred won a bottle of whiskey and £10 in the halftime raffle, going home very much alive and quite happy. Congleton's mistaken minute of silence turned into a legendary comedy of errors. It's a heartwarming kind of bizarre, a football miracle where the deceased fan enjoys the game and even wins the raffle. Safe to say, Fred's next appearance at the stadium probably got a standing ovation before kickoff. Now, from a man who wasn't supposed to be alive to a match that shouldn't be allowed. Australia played American Samoa in 2001. This was a World Cup qualifier that ended 31-0, basically a rugby score on a football field. It's the largest ever victory in an international match, and it was as one-sided as the score suggests. Australia, then an Oceania powerhouse, fielded some fresh faces, but still utterly dominated tiny American Samoa. Archie Thompson scored 13 goals by himself, also a world record for a single international, and another Aussie, David Zdrilic, scored 8. Goals were flying in literally every few minutes. The overwhelmed Samoan team featured a bunch of teenagers and even a 15-year-old due to many regulars missing. Some players had never even played a full 90-minute game before. By halftime, it was 16-0. By the final minutes, commentators lost count. In fact, the stadium scoreboard stopped at 32-0 because the officials briefly miscounted. They added an extra goal by mistake. After a recount, imagine needing a recount of goals, the official result was adjusted back to 31-0. You know a match is wild when there's confusion over whether 31 or 32 goals were scored. This insane thrashing led FIFA to rethink the qualifying format to avoid such mismatches in the future. It's a game American Samoa would rather forget, though it inspired a documentary on their quest for improvement. For Australia, it was basically shooting practice. They even hit 22-0 2 days earlier against Tonga. But 31-0 is the one in the record books. It's a scoreline so absurd that if you told someone casually, "Oh yeah, a World Cup qualifier ended 31-0," they might check if you meant 31 dash, as in 3-1. But nope, 31-0 really happened, and it remains the most lopsided international ever. Football, with all its chaos and charm, never runs short of unbelievable stories. Smash that like button if you enjoyed the ride, and subscribe for more tall but true tales from the world of football. After all, as long as there are matches being played, somewhere out there, a new unbelievable story is unfolding, and we'll be here to laugh, gasp, and celebrate it. Until next time.